Should we as Christians apply the same standards to people like Candace Owens that we apply to, say, Donald Trump? Watch this.
There might be some people that think I'm being unfair and I'm not applying the same standards to someone like Donald Trump that I would apply to Candace Owens. And I just want to say that's not true. And I want to affirm and I want to say very, very clearly, the same biblical standards have to be applied to all, whether you're a political commentator, whether you're a politician, or just someone like me, a citizen, a preacher, a minister. The biblical standards I've applied are not standards that apply only to Candace Owens or people that I disagree with politically or theologically. Christians must apply biblical discernment consistently, even towards leaders, influencers, and political figures whose policies or broader agendas they may support overall. I do not believe that any political movement or public figure is beyond biblical criticism, and this includes Donald Trump or leaders on the political right. But I will say the responsibilities borne by a head of state like Donald Trump are fundamentally different from those borne by a media commentator such as Candace Owens. So although I don't believe in applying unequal weights and measures, applying the standard to one that you don't apply to another, I also don't believe in ignorantly bringing false equivalencies into the argument as well, into the case that I'm making as well. Not everything is equivalent. Not everything is equal. But Scripture recognizes that those that have been entrusted with greater authority also bear unique burdens and are often forced to make difficult decisions in a fallen world. Romans chapter 13, verses 1 through 7. Political leadership necessarily involves conflict, national security, diplomacy, and the exercise of civil authority in ways that are unlike the vocation of a commentator or an influencer. So recognizing sinful rhetoric, personal flaws, or reckless speech in a public figure does not automatically mean that every aspect of their leadership, their policies, or their influence is equally destructive or morally equivalent. Christians are forced to make difficult moral distinctions in political life between imperfect people, imperfect systems, and competing outcomes in a fallen world. And this brings us to one of the main differences that I see between people like Candace Owens and politicians like Donald Trump. I have to engage with figures like Donald Trump to a degree in order to fulfill my civic responsibility as a citizen of the United States Republic. Whereas I don't have to engage with Candace Owens because she is primarily a media commentator rather than an elected official. Now, I know I'm choosing to engage with Candace Owens right now, but trust me, I will be happy to move on after this series is over and go on to a different subject. I'm doing this because I'm hoping that this series is going to serve you. I'm hoping that this series helps you with biblical discernment when you're evaluating influential figures like Candace Owens and others on the woke left as well as the woke right. But my concern has not been political perfectionism, but the repeated pattern of deception, slander, reckless accusation, anti-Semitic rhetoric, reprehensible attacks on a widow, and spiritually corrosive influence that I believe Candace Owens has increasingly embraced and has spread through her platform. Christians must be willing to evaluate all influential voices, though, whether they're political, cultural, or religious. And they must be willing to do so through the lens of Scripture rather than tribal loyalty or partisan attachment. Hey, I want to thank you for watching this video clip. This clip was taken from a full episode of my podcast, the Stephen Powell Podcast. To watch the full video, check out the links in the description of this video, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can click right here.